Good afternoon, Grizzlies. Hope you're doing well on this glorious Sunday afternoon. This is a different video. I got contacted by one of my old managers the other day, with the hope of spreading the word about his daughter. I'm not going to talk too much about it. I'm going to play a video for you all. Please take the time to watch this. Don't turn this off just because you hear my stupid Brummy accent. Please take your time to have a look at this. I'll be leaving links and stuff in the description down below for you to have a read as well. Please, I need your help with this, guys. Everybody that watches this video, I really do need your help. Please watch the video that's about to play. And thank you very much for taking your time to watch this. Have a lovely evening. Bye bye.
When we first set out to visit the UK and meet 2-year-old Lily and her family, I think I had a certain picture in my head. A beautiful little girl diagnosed with a rare brain tumor, her parents desperate to do whatever it takes to save their child. This is probably a privileged family, I thought, able to travel to another country, leave their home for 2 months, do whatever it takes to get the best treatment, quite literally in the world, for their little girl. What we discovered was an altogether different story. The 2-hour train ride to the industrial, hard-working city of Birmingham took us not only 117 miles from London, but a very, very long way from the decadence and formality of England's most sophisticated city. It was a humble home we encountered that day, a home that, at least by American standards, seemed almost uncomfortably small. And that's when we were greeted by Lily's father, Graham.
I'm Graham Gillon. I've got 4 little girls. The oldest Keely, and there's Casey, Chelsea and Lily. Lily was the little girl that went to Oklahoma. She was diagnosed in February last year with an ependymoma, which is brain cancer.
Ependymoma is a type of brain tumor that affects both adults and children. The 5-year survival rate for children is roughly 60%.
And it was terrible because she was no longer a developing child. She was now this poorly little child.
Her hands and feet had turned blue. She was just generally unwell and losing a lot of weight. She couldn't hold anything down. And she used to hit her head a lot, but we didn't really understand why. And we took her to 2 different doctors over the period of time, and both of them were saying it's just like a winter bug, that she'll be fine.
Lily was finally sent to the hospital, where she spent 5 weeks. Doctors were still unable to find anything wrong with her. It was only when she was sent to the children's hospital that an MRI finally revealed some answers.
From when he said the words brain tumour the whole day, everything else just went blank. And he just says that they were going to operate in a few days, and then we wouldn't know if it was cancerous or not until 7 days after that.
You could see what they meant, but you didn't think about it. You were just sort of sitting there praying that they were actually going to get her through.
A week after she had the operation, we had a meeting with Dr. Pete, and he told us what Leah's tumour was, and he says that the better option they believed for Leah was to go to Oklahoma, Proton Therapy.
Obviously we had the initial shock of, right, we're going to go to America. We'd never been to America before, so there was lots of other things that we had to sort of think about.
But I think from my point of view, in my head, it was like I have a lot of belief in Leah's doctor, Dr. Pete, and it was like, if he believes that this is going to be something that's going to help Leah, then it doesn't matter where it was going to be, we were going to go and do it either way.
At the time she was on NG feeds for a tube in her nose, so we had to think about how we're going to get all the food over to America, and how we're going to carry it, how we're going to get through customs, and she didn't have a passport, and it was It wasn't until we spoke to Nikki White from Procure about 5 days before we were due to go out that everything fell into place. Because Nikki called us up. At first we were sort of sitting there going, this is a crazy American woman on the phone. Really haven't got a clue what she's talking about. But she was literally a case of, what do you need? I've got suggestions of where you're going to stay, we can sort this out. And just practical things like, how do we plug our mobile phones in? Where do we get this certain food from? How do we deal with the money? And she just took it all away. She took all those issues away.
They don't know what to expect. They don't know what to expect from the treatment. They don't know what to expect from the people here. They don't know what to expect from Oklahoma. They just have so many anxieties. And to be able to meet with us at the very first and realize, oh, these people are actually going to help us make these decisions, help us find these places, that can calm those anxieties from the very beginning. And you can almost see people breathe a sigh of relief sitting right there in front of you, to realize that they're not going to have to do it by themselves, that they've got somebody that's going to help them.
When we got off the aeroplane, it was stepping out into the unknown. It was a lot to take in at once, but it was different to what we expected, a lot different to what I expected. The following day we went to Procure. When we walked in, it was just like a big welcome, smiles everywhere, and you initially think you're walking into a treatment centre with everyone with cancer, they're going to be sad, but you didn't. You walked in and everybody was smiling. It was all welcoming. She took to Pam straight away, and she took to Nikki straight away.
The Gillons spent about 2 months in Oklahoma, taking Lily to treatment once a day, watching with renewed hope as she returned, almost miraculously, to the happy, thriving little girl they had once known.
Yeah, well, for the first couple of times I wouldn't let Pam just take her, because I was so used to here when they're sedated and we take her and we hold her and they put her to sleep, but they do it different out there. And when we was at the centre, Pam was like, okay, for the first couple of times you can come in, and then it was shocking, because after a couple of days, when we used to get there, Pam used to be waiting for her by the door, and Leah's arms were out and she was gone and she used to bite.
Over the course of their time in Oklahoma, the Gillons began to embrace their temporary home away from home, developing an affection for both the people and the places.
We used to do dining around on a Thursday. We all used to go out and have something to eat somewhere. And I think we spent a lot of time complaining about the food. But then we found that when we went back, we'd actually missed it. I think initially it came about that we sort of started to embrace everything that was Oklahoma. And sort of went out and bought an Oklahoma Thunder shirt.
The first follow-up scan when Lily returned home revealed good news, showing no signs of the tumor. A second and third scan revealed the same. But within weeks, Lily began refusing to eat again and was no longer the tearful, thriving, happy child they had seen in Oklahoma. So just months after they returned home, the Gillons decided to go back to Oklahoma for a visit and to see if there really was something that seemed to transform Lily.
Initially we wanted to go back to see the people and everyone at the centre and 2 of the little patients that Leah made friends with when we were out there, Brida and Ryder, and just to say thank you. And partially it was because Leah has a feeding therapist here because she still doesn't eat normal food, but we knew she did start eating when she was out there, and we wanted to see ourselves if it would change when we took her back out a second time to see if she got back to the comfortable stage of eating again, and she did. We got off the aeroplane and Nikki come to pick us up, and she recognised Nikki straight away.
Within a day, Lily was happy, thriving, and eating again.
Even down to, she's constantly smiling, she's running around, she's talking more, she tries all the food, and she just seems like she's comfortable in herself, more than what she is here. I can't explain it any other way.
The change was so dramatic, the Gillons began discussing the possibility of leaving their home in England to actually move to Oklahoma.
We would love to go and live back out in America for Leah, because I believe truly that's where she's most happiest. That is the little girl out there She's really happy actually.
One, hold on, 2, 3, go! Again!
I think it just gets because it's so hard to explain, because when you're saying it, people are like, what do you mean? She's like a different child, but you have to see it to realise, and it's really hard to explain.
The future for the Gillons is still uncertain. Even in the best of circumstances, a move to an entirely different country leaves many things to be considered. For the Gillons, there's an extended family that would be left behind, 3 little girls that would be uprooted from their friends and schools, and one precious little girl who, for some reason that perhaps only the universe may someday explain, has the fight of her life ahead of her.
So there you have it. That is what I was saying. Lilly had a cancerous brain tumor in 2011, which was followed up by Proton Therapy in Oklahoma. That was the video that you've just watched. In 2020, another tumor was found, which was surgically removed. But in 2022, unfortunately, Lilly started to feel unwell again. This time it was believed the shunt, which had been placed, was causing the problems. That's been replaced 2 months ago. Unfortunately, Lilly started to suffer more, and she began to lose her sight. The surgical team have come up with a plan to try and save some of her sight. They don't know how they can fix her brain. She's been diagnosed with slit ventricles, normal pressure, hydrocephalus, intracranial artery stenosis, which is one of the main risks, and stenosis of the aqueduct between the 3rd and 4th ventricles, with a collapsed right lateral and 3rd ventricle due to a new shunt. This is causing the blockage in her brain fluid flow, which they're trying to reduce, followed by a lumbar drain. Following this, surgery is needed for her eye to try and release the pressure, and then they'll look at pressure monitoring. This gives them 2 weeks then to investigate the cranial augmentation and any benefit to her. After that, they don't know. The doctors have been asked if she'll be able to hear or read Christmas cracker jokes, and they just don't know. The emergency response is to remove the top of the skull if she starts to deteriorate any further. But Lilly does have some things she wants to get done before she gets to this point. She's been painting and starting to sell them to raise money on Hope Studioz for what they don't want to call a bucket list, however it is. They want to take Lilly back to Oklahoma, to her favourite place, but unfortunately they cannot fly due to the pressure on her brain. So they're looking to take a boat trip to New York and then drive across the states to her favourite destination and to see if there's any medical assistance that can be given. I will leave the Just Giving link below, along with the link to Hope Studioz for her paintings. Thank you very much for taking your time watching this video. Please help in any way you can. Thank you.